Background noise are good.
I do hear some chatter in the background.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think if you want to go handle that, then we can wait a bit. So okay, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are listening to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. I am your host, Sean Williams, aka Mr. President. And this is the Safe Room, a safe space for entrepreneurs, business owners here in Toronto to share their personal and professional stories. And today we have a very special guest. Listen, last week it was a fun conversation, but I had to get someone else to one up. To one up, you know? So I mean, overall, like I had to up the ante a bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do have an amazing guest. He's an independent financial broker. He's also an entrepreneur, a creative visionary. He's got all the titles, basically. He is someone that I'm also working closely based on similar fields. So you're gonna hear the comparisons from last week's guest to this week's guest. But the big twist is that he's into music. So if you're into music, you're my type of friend. So we're definitely gonna go down into that realm. He's one of the top guys that I've got the chance to see grow, and he's creating a legacy of its own for the stuff that he's doing. So I'm excited. You can see he's fully decked out, fully sharp. He means business. He's serious, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the one and only Mr. Taj Hedge, Mr. Taj Hedge. Taj, how's it going?
Awesome and wonderful. Thank you for that introduction. That was wow. That was top notch. Appreciate that.
No, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm glad to have you on. We planned this out about a couple months ago, so I'm glad that it's now coming to the light at this point.
Yes, everything just lining up perfectly. So I'm glad that we're sitting down finally.
100%, man. I'm excited to talk a little bit more about the stuff that you're doing. Again, there is going to be some similarities to when I had Xander last week, but I mean, y'all see the title of the conversation today, insurance and music. I know you're probably thinking, wait, Sean, how do these click? They don't click. I get it. They probably don't click. But at the end of the day, like, we're gonna make it work. Cause like me and Todd, we have a theory. We have a theory in mind. That's the whole point of this conversation. So we're gonna have fun with it. But before we get into the main questions, the main topic at hand, we have to start off with the hot seat. And ladies and gentlemen, the hot seat, it's a staple here. I know Taj is like, oh boy, bro, you said hot seat. Like, wait, wait, it's nothing crazy. I promise you, Todd. It's very, very chill, bro. I'm gonna ask you 4 questions, and I want you to answer them to your best abilities. Okay?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, perfect, man. So the first question. So outside the work that you do, tell me something about yourself in one sentence.
Tell you about myself in one sentence.
Yes.
Ah, I would like to say, I'm an entertainer and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just passionate about both of those areas. I'm just a young guy trying to find his way, trying to be successful in today's day and age. And that's pretty much it about me.
Okay. Honestly, that might be the most like nonchalant answer I've got for that question. Usually everyone's like, "Oh, I got to come up with something like very witty and just like, hey, I'm just a chill guy. I'm just trying to be successful." I love it though. I love it. Honestly, like it's like you got chill energy. I could just see that from you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. All right, going on to the next question, bro. This one's interesting since you mentioned you're a music lover and everything like that. I want you to tell me a song or an album that played a pivotal role in your life.
Ooh, this is good. An album? Oh, I'll never forget it. It is called Forever in a Day by Big Crit. That is KRIT, stands for King Remembered in Time. Big Crit, my favorite artist of all time. And again, that album is called Forever in a Day. That absolutely changed my life, changed my perspective on everything. You got to listen to it. You just got to listen to it to see what I'm talking about.
Okay, I see that. I see that. Honestly, I was not expecting that. Not a lot of people know about Big Crit. Like straight up, no one knows about it. Especially like in the 2010s when he was dropping all those projects. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was him, man.
That's the underground king right there, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Is there like any other underground rappers that you may listen to nowadays?
Nowadays, you know what? Honestly, I was actually in the car the other day listening to Jaden Smith, and I was thinking people don't know about the Jaden Smith back in the day. He was really rapping. So I would go listen to some old Jaden Smith, when he was like 18 and stuff like that. He's got some songs out. I think they're especially on YouTube, but he's been in some fire, a totally different mindset, just a higher level thinking and stuff like that. Um, some other artists that I love, especially from Chicago, would be Saba. He's one of my favorite artists as well. We share the same first name. And Mick Jenkins, I
Oh,
think
that's a
he
nice pick.
yeah, Mick Jenkins, the THC album, the heart component, so the healing component, super super sick.
Oh man, nah. I feel like after this, we gotta start like swapping playlists. Like for
Oh yeah,
real. Dang,
oh
Mick
yeah,
Jenkins, that's a deep cut. I love it, man.
yep,
I
yep.
love it.
See,
Okay.
you're my type of guy. You know what I'm talking about.
No, listen, like I'm an underground like guy, like Mick Jenkins. I also love like the entire Griselda pack, like Boldy, Rome
Yep,
Street, Stove God, Cooks. I've been wanting to get into a little bit of like Navy Blue as well, but even like some of the producers they work with, like Nicholas Craven, Alchemist,
yeah,
Conductor
yeah.
William, bro. Like I be
Mhm,
vibing to
mhm.
their music.
Yeah, man. And I think they also used to work with Smino. Smino is also a pretty cool one, pretty chill vibes there.
I love that, man. Honestly, I don't get to talk much music with people because I feel like everyone's music palette is different, and that's totally fine. But I think in general, I'm open to like talking about music in general, and I feel like I don't get the chance to do that. So I'm glad like we're having the conversation right now on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it, man. Okay, going on to the next question. I want you to tell me an interesting fact that you rarely share about yourself.
I would say, okay, I'm gonna share one of two. You have your choice. So first one is that I would say I'm kind of a triple threat. When it comes to acting, dancing, and being like a rapper slash singer. So I'd say that one I don't really share too often. Or is the fact of my love and passion for skateboarding. I've been skateboarding since I was a teenager. I kind of wanted to go all the way, go pro, and even make a business out of it when I was younger. So that's always going to be one of my passions. Maybe one day I still might have a business in skateboarding, but that's the real secret right there.
I like that. Honestly, skateboarding, I mean, it's something that I think a lot of people really enjoy, especially during the summertime when it's hot and maybe they want to go and travel somewhere, but they don't want to like take their car or take the transit. The skateboarding's a huge hack. Just being able
Yeah,
to ride wherever you want to go and enjoy yourself.
yes sir. Kick and push and coast.
God, of course, he busts out the Lupe Fiasco bar. I love it. If you
Ah,
know, you know.
you know.
I love it, man. Okay, going on to the final question. What is your personal safe room? So, what is a safe space where it could be physical, it could be mental, that allows you to be your authentic self?
I would have to say music and dance. you know being able to express myself via dancing on a good song. I think that is my safe room right there. You know just pouring my heart out into singing your heart out into a song, and dancing all the bad vibes away and everything like that. So that's definitely my safe room.
Nah, that's great to hear, man. Honestly, I think with music and dance and art in general, man, I really think to myself, like, what would this world be like if we didn't have those things? Like, they're so crucial, so important for that expression, but also being able to be authentic and not let people judge you. And believe it or not, too, when you have like outlets like dance and music, you will have people who resonate with your style, with your
Yeah.
palette, like I mentioned before. Hearing that you listen to Saba, you listen to Mick Jenkins, you listen to these artists, like, wow, like I didn't even think I would listen to that. Cause like I've had people in my circle and it's just like, there's certain music it's like you have to be tapped into to have conversations with them. And I get it. Sometimes you're open to have those conversations, but sometimes you wish you could talk to someone who's like, oh, I don't know if you heard that new album that dropped from Mick Jenkins. And it's like, who? Like, I don't know who you're talking about. And it's just like, oh, right, I forgot you don't
Uh,
listen to that. It's just, and it's not even
no,
shade. It's not even shade. It's just the character
yeah,
it is.
yeah. So like, I guess the palette's different.
Absolutely, man. So I definitely feel that. And, I think for a lot of people who are musicians or even dancers that are probably listening to that, I know my sister is probably listening too, because she's also like in the dance compartment. Like, I want to ask you this, Tosh. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe you've shown your dancing skills, maybe like in a dance battle, or like have you gone to out to events and like you start dancing and people are just like, yo, who's that guy like with the moves? Hold on, like what's going on? Has there been situations like that?
A few situations. I'd say more so like in my earlier days, like in high school and stuff like that. I think I don't show too much nowadays. I try to chill back and stuff like that when I'm out. But it also depends on the song. When that song comes on, you just can't help yourself. Yeah, definitely.
I feel you, man, 100%. Okay, well, that's the hot seat right there, ladies and gentlemen. Taj, you gave some very unique answers. I love it. Just very diverse, giving a little bit of everything, in terms of your personality. So now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes. We're gonna get now to the big boy questions. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is the Safe From Here on Love Bay Radio. I'm here with my guest, Taj, and we're going to be going a little bit deeper into his story. And you see the topic today, insurance and music. I know you don't really see those two connect, but we're going to make it work by the end of this. I promise you, like, by the end of this, you're going to be like, wow, man, Tosh and Sean really had the blueprint. Like I saw the vision. I didn't see the vision at first, but I saw it at the end and it made sense. So don't worry. It's all gonna make sense at the end of it. But again, make sure you guys are like, share, comment, subscribe here on Love Bay Radio. We're live right now on YouTube, on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the fixins on the website as well. So make sure you head to the website. Also download Love Bay on the Apple Store and Google Play as well. And guys, make sure you're giving the donation. Okay. I try to do this every single week, Tosh, where I try to play around with the audience. Like, okay, does everyone know the phone number? Does everyone know the phone number to the donations? Because we do a lot here on Love Bay Radio, and I think it's important to not only show that love, but also remember the phone number. It's important. So for generosity, if the Love Bay team could put it at the bottom so that they can remember, I'll do that. I already know if I'm hard, but obviously, I think it's important that everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about. So the number 437-778-3299. Usually I leave the 99 at the end because I want them to say 99 in the chat. I hope you understand what I'm coming from. So it is what it is. But again, make sure you guys leave a donation. It goes a lot to everything that's being done here at Love Bay Radio. But enough of me rambling. Let's get on to the main question. Now, Taj, before I actually ask about, the first question, I do want people to know exactly what you do. I asked a similar question to Xander last week, so I want to ask the same thing to you. Exactly what do you do? Because some people may not know exactly about your professional background right now. So if you could just share the lovely people who are listening, what do you do?
Alrighty, so my name's Taj Hedge, and I'm an independent financial broker. I help families and businesses find tax saving environments and just financial strategies to help them get closer to their financial goals so they can live the life that they want.
Perfect. So, guys, as you can see, if you did listen to last week's conversation, you see the comparisons based on what Taj and what Xander does, because we're all in the same bunch right now. We're all in the same coalition, I would probably
Yep,
say.
yep.
So,
Same team, same team.
yep. So, as you can see, we're gonna again get deeper into insurance and music and really correlate that. But I want to go and piggyback off your introduction, Taj, and share a little bit more about your financial journey and where does this passion for also like music, because I think that's very interesting too. I don't think I've met someone who is in an industry where it's like, okay, financial services and insurance, but also I'm also a huge music guy. I don't think you see much of that combination. So where does the financial journey begin, and how does the passion for music interconnect just to how you operate on a day-to-day basis, how you carry yourself?
Man, like I said, I'm just an entrepreneur. I've always been that way. So, just having a passion for music, being an artist, right? I always thought of, taking it all the way, having my own business in music. And if you're going to have a business in anything, you need financial education, right? So I'm so grateful that this opportunity came about to be, an independent financial broker, to learn about financial education, be able to bring that back to my community, and just learn it for myself so that I can get closer to my goals, that do connect with music again, with having a business in that industry. So yeah, they definitely do connect. Finances and music, you can't have one without the other, for real. You need to know what you're doing financially when it comes to your music, when it comes to putting on a tour, right, and all those type of things. So
100%. And I think with the music industry overall, a lot of people have their different opinions and takes. I feel like nowadays, when you see online when it comes to music, it's usually debates about like the art itself. Like, oh, whose album's better? Or like, oh, like this person has like a better discography than this person. But I think you will find those niche conversations that speak to more the music industry as a whole, whether it has to do with sales, when it comes to albums or even streaming numbers. There's so many
yeah,
things that are coming into play in terms of like long form media, like podcasts are starting to really dive into those conversations. But I think it's important, like you mentioned, for a lot of folks who are trying to get into music, you need to understand the finance, because sometimes if you sign with a record label, they are going to do everything it takes to take as much money away from you. So there is going to be complications with that. If you don't know how to manage your own finance, then you're going to be in a very sticky situation when it comes to the music industry as a whole.
for sure, for sure. You just have to look at the history. It happens to a lot of guys. They find out a lot later on that, they're owe the record label money, that they're um sorry, their accountant, is probably, taking a little bit under the covers here and there. So you definitely need to know your way around money if you're going to be in the entertainment industry, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So, was there a moment, I guess, where I know you say you're still trying to like pursue like that music journey and being able to, start something in the field, but has there been a moment for you where maybe it's you've experienced it personally, or maybe someone you may knew who was a musician who was coming up that had a little bit of those issues when it came to, financial troubles, things just weren't working well for them and it caused a bit of a setback in their career when it came to music?
Definitely, I would say for myself, for one, right? Like I said, that's why I found financial education so important. Because without the finances, you can find yourself like being set back and stuff like that. Also, a few colleagues of mine, but I also know, I wouldn't say in the major industry role, a lot of my colleagues, people that I've networked with in the artist role, we're all independent artists. Again, some of us has started our own businesses like studios, or smaller record labels, and so on and so forth. So I'm sure, again, that most people, especially when you do start having like your own business in that industry, you do come across, some hiccups, and then you figure out, I need to learn this thing. I need to learn some financial education on what I'm doing here when it comes to the business side. So for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think for any artist who is coming up, usually the biggest issue when it comes to something related to finance is compensation. whether they're doing a show and they're trying to get their name across, it becomes okay. So, like, what's the compensation? Like, how much am I getting? And just from personal experience, I've heard from other people, the most they may get sometimes is like between the range of maybe 250 to like minimum, like where they just don't have nothing to. Maybe if they're generous, you might get like 500, maybe even 750, depending on, because I feel the only way you're gonna get paid as an artist is if maybe you're working for a larger organization or maybe there's a grant involved and you're able to use that within your budgeting. But other than that, there's not that much money being thrown around for people who are trying to do more of these. I wouldn't say sideshows, but if there are also people who are like very strong about their community, they go to events and they're trying to build up a rapport, it's kind of more of like, okay, I'm just there for the love of it. But sometimes people don't want to just be there for the love of it. It's like, I do want to get paid. I want to advance. That money could be going to studio time. It could be going for buying, instruments. Or if I'm a
Definitely.
producer, I need to be able to like back up my files and tracks, whatever the case may be. So I feel like there's a lot of elements that may not be talked about a lot that some people need to consider about, especially if you are a musician and someone coming in, even if you're not just a musician, you could be a producer, even a dancer. I know, like for dancers as well, there's probably a lot of expenses that go into it that maybe me and you may not know as much, or maybe you could tell me a little bit more since
Sure.
you've been in that dance space a bit.
I would say definitely tryouts. In the entertainment industry, it's all about getting your name out there, right? Once you get your name out there, you're getting a buzz. You've networked a little bit, and then you're getting the calls, and people are setting you up here and there. It's all about like putting up front, right? So it does cost a lot on the front end. You again, like as for any of them, especially like for dancers, it's traveling, doing tryouts that you might not even get accepted to. But that's just how the game goes, right? You got to do 50, 99 tryouts for that one proper opportunity, right? And even as artists, you have to, or producers, you have to again put a lot on the front end. You have to be putting out a lot of content. You have to be doing smaller shows that you might even have to pay to get on these shows, right? Or you might, just have to sell your first 15 to 45 tickets and make 2 to 3, maybe hopefully $5 a ticket, right? Again, until you get that buzz, until you're rising up slowly, slowly, until you get your name up there. And I would say network, just network really well with all of your experiences, with all of your opportunities, shows and so on and so forth. Just network so that you can get to those places and people can hopefully give you those opportunities.
100%. So I do want to ask the next question, right? Because it kind of expands a little bit more on what we're talking right now. So, like, why do you believe that the music and the entertainment industry is really important to assess when it comes to like the safety and the protection of, artists, dancers, and people who are producers? Because I think to even expand on what we're sharing, a lot of times we will see artists kind of find that break it in their career and they're able to get to the next level, the next echelon. But sometimes also, are they actually protected? Like, are they like, is there a backup plan? And I hope people are paying attention to the lingo that I'm saying because this is where it ties back into the insurance piece in a way. But again, I don't want to jump the gun too much. But again, I want to ask you, Taj, in terms of just like, why do you think it's important to still like really address and advocate for the safety and protection of musicians and artists who are trying to make a break, or even dancers as well? You talked about doing the tryouts or doing tours, like running concerts. Anything can happen to an artist, to a dancer who's like doing backup for a performer. Things happen and it could lead to certain pathways. Maybe someone gets hurt or maybe it causes a little bit of a setback in what they're doing. So, I mean, I want to expand on what you're saying in terms of just why is it important to really push forward this message?
I would say that one of the big things is again knowledge in everything, is power. So yeah, it's great to want to be an artist, producer, a dancer, but just know what you're getting into so that you're able to protect yourself. Do some research So also that way you know what you're signing when you're, signing contracts to do gigs, to be a backup dancer. Just know what you're getting into. Some people, they might, depending again on the standard or the what level that company is at. Some people, they might be able to, offer some insurance, some medical attention, and all these other type of things, and some people don't. You're in a lot of cases, you're an independent person, right? So you have to protect yourself. That's what I'd say. You know what you're getting into, you know and again, like on the financial side, you need to know what's there for you, what's not there for you, what you need to bring for yourself, what you should have. And I always think, if every dollar that you make, you got to save at least, 25, 30, 50 cents, right? Because those things do happen. So sometimes, especially when we're a little bit younger, we think we're going to be great, we think we're going to be okay, and we go out and we perform and do this, and again, even just traveling, and something happens. So you just want to be prepared on all fronts, and to be prepared, you need the knowledge to know what you're getting into. So I think that's huge.
Yeah, that part right there. I hope people are listening and taking down notes as well. I hope you all got your notepads out because I'm telling you, like, these things are very important, especially for I think again, overall, like, and this is just kind of things I just think about myself. I think this is why this conversation is so important because I think again we get so caught up about the music industry, the dance industry in terms of like the creative aspect, and of course that's what the art form is about. Seeing it creatively, and then there's the financial standpoint in terms of just okay, like is this artist making money or like are these dancers like getting paid? But I think the safety and protection is the things that are like the behind the scenes of everything. Like, when you're filming a documentary, you get to see like, okay, this is the main piece. And then you see all the extra promotion with the clips and the teaser and the trailer. And it's like, ooh, this is nice. But it's like, what about the behind the scenes? What about the things that don't get published? The things that no one's really talking about? I feel like there's an analogy there when it comes to the safety and protection within the music and entertainment industry as a whole. I think there's a lot of people that could probably say, like, man, I just did a tour for like the last like 6 months. I'm exhausted. Or like, how many clips have we seen where and like I'm not even trying to like make this a comedy thing. I know you're probably could relate to this, Tosh. Those like videos where like the artist is like on stage and like they slip and fall or like they fall through that little entrance stage. I'm thinking to
Yeah,
myself, like,
yeah,
bro, like what happened if they legit got hurt? Like what happens next? Like, does it mean just like, oh, I gotta cancel it? Sorry, guys. It's like, okay, but like, are you okay? Like, do you have like a backup plan? Because like things can happen in a crazy way where like I don't know, someone tears their ACL like completely, like off the bone, wherever the case may be. It's like, do they have a backup? Those are the things I think we don't talk about. We just kind of be like, oh, like this person fell, but it's like, nah, for real though. Like, are you good? Like, are you actually set? Like, is there
yeah,
something in
yeah.
play? You know?
And remember, that's still also their occupation, right? So I think the same thing too. And do they are they gonna get any of the lost income, right? What happens to that? Like you said, what happens to upcoming shows that now have to be canceled, and so on and so forth. So again, the world of finance and music very much does collide, and you just got to know a thing or two.
Yeah, 100%. That's why we're having this conversation because I think it's such a intriguing conversation that maybe some people aren't thinking about, but I think it's super important to anyone who needs to hear and listen to it. I want to go on to the next question. How do you envision yourself as being an anchor to guiding more folks about, not only learn about the financial education, but maybe even incorporating a little bit based on your personal experience? If someone who is an artist, let's say they're a client, they're coming up to you and they're saying like, hey, listen, man, I'm trying to like set myself up to make sure that I'm financially free. I got a little bit more of my time. I'm trying to really build my career in this. And I want to make sure that there's nothing that's restricting me. Like, how do you try your best to approach those people specifically while also being able to still do an effective job at it overall?
I think I just come from a place of value, right? Like the whole conversation that we're having. is I think a lot of people in the entertainment industry, as especially as you're starting out or you're in that mid area, you're, let's say you don't really have a lot of, excessive funds and a lot of connections. You're already connected to main record labels and such like that. I think I just come from a place of value. Being able to teach them, again, these things that we're talking about today, being able to teach them their way around the industry, making sure that they have a finance lawyer, some of these things in place, because it is just, we're always jumping into music, we're always jumping into our passion of the arts in the entertainment industry, and we don't focus or we don't know enough about the financial side. So that's where I'm able to help people out, share my knowledge with them, and be so that they can be a little bit more successful.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, again, if you are an entrepreneur or an artist, whatever the case may be, overall, like to be able to manage your finance in your profession, you also need to manage your finance personally. If you can't do that, then it's like you can't be able to do what you need to do on a professional level. So, like, that's super, super important. And again, and to just even expand, you look at the music scene here in Toronto, like, there's so many artists that I know, and it's like, wow, like, they're doing incredible things. But I feel like there's different tiers of artists based on where they're at right now and based on how they're moving on a certain trajectory. That if something were to happen to them, I think they're good. Obviously, you have your sign artists under a certain label or a certain entertainment agency where it's like, hey, listen, we got you, or like we might be giving you the resources and the necessary information. Then you have those folks who aren't really signed to an agency, like they're known across different areas of the city, but they're still kind of trying to grow. They're still trying to put something out, and maybe they're the ones in the stage that have to ask the tough questions, like, okay, maybe I need to start thinking about having a backup plan, whether it has to do with not even insurance, but just like, again, financially saving, investing your time, your money in something that could be very useful and important. And then, of course, you have those started from the bottom. It's like, hey, man, I'm grinding, I'm trying to do everything I can. And like, obviously, maybe I have a soft spot for these people because I see them and like, oh my gosh, like they're killing it. But I can't help but think, like, so, like, what happens if this doesn't work out? It's just like, well, I mean, we'll see what happens, but until we get to that point, it's like, but that's the thing. Like, do you really want to get to that point and then still be stuck, or could you put something in play now? So then, yes, still go for the passion, the dream. But if something does happen, if there's a fallout, at least like, hey, at least I got this contingency plan. At least I got something set up for me. I think that's super important to really look at the scope at.
100%. You got to be prepared. You got to have some plan, because if you don't plan, then you plan to fail, right? So, and those are the scariest of moments, when you're like, hey, I'll just go until something happens, and then something does happen, and you realize, you're like, nope, I should have been prepared back then. I should have had a plan in place. I should have had this and this resource and so on and so forth already worked out. Because when something happens, it's a little bit too late. So yeah, then you're running around scramming for resources and trying to figure out what's possible, what's available. Just like the insurance side, right? When something happens to you, it's too late to get insurance, right? So you want to have it in place beforehand.
100%. It's got me thinking about like what are like the different types of insurance that would be applicable to an artist in the sense like, okay, this makes sense. Obviously, life insurance, like regardless, that's the number one. But it's like, is there anything else? Because I think travel insurance is also important, especially if you're traveling all the time. Like one thing that, and this I'm gonna be honest with the people here in Utah. Listen, one of my goals is that I do want to be able to travel the world and explore, but at the same time, it's like I cannot imagine myself traveling every single day, hopping on a plane, hopping on a jet, case may be, and not thinking to myself like, "Yo, this could be my last time on this earth." It's just like I'm just so
Right.
afraid of hopping on
Yeah.
planes. It's like, dude, y'all might have to drug me on a plane for real. Like I can't. It's just being that much up in the sky. No, and like the fact certain artists do that on a daily, like we could probably list out certain artists right now, and they're like, yeah, they're probably traveling, going to this place. Someone's probably doing a tour here. Like they're going across like continent after continent. It's like, man, like overall, it's like y'all do so much travel. Like, what happens if something goes wrong? Like God forbid, a plane goes crashing down, or like you get injured, like doing something related through travel. Like, do you have travel insurance? Like, is there something set up? Like, those are things that I feel like it frightens me, but it gets my brain thinking in a way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
That's why a lot of people have like a business manager, right, or a finance lawyer in the entertainment industry, and they just kind of have those guys take care of all of that and take care of those things. But again, especially if you're starting out, you're an independent artist, or you want to know a little bit more of what's going on, what you're signing into, what's possible, what your options are. So yeah.
I feel you for sure. So, I mean, overall, I think this is a conversation that really brings a lot of discussion and light to it. But overall, I feel for anyone who is listening, if you are an artist, maybe you're someone who is not really thinking about this, I'm hoping this is some food for thought just to kind of bring to light the conversation. But again, for those who are just tuning in and you're probably wondering, like, wait, insurance, music, Sean, what is going on? What's going on? That this is the safe room. First of all, the safe room here on Love Bay Radio. Thank you for joining us. I'm here with my guest Taj, and we are having a wonderful conversation. It's been very introspective. Like we've been getting deeper into it, and honestly, I'm getting more hyped and excited. I feel it's making me want to hop off. Like, yo, I gotta start making some calls. Like, hey, like
Yeah,
y'all trying to like hop on a call and get something done, like for real.
yeah, yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Anyway, for people who are just tuning in, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, we're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, all the fixins, the website right now. Also, make sure you guys are going to the website for Love Bay Radio. Make sure you are also downloading the app for Love Bay on the Apple Store, Google Play. Again, as well, make sure you guys are giving a donation. It goes a lot to what we're doing. Y'all know the number 437-778-32.
99.
And silence. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I thought you remembered the number.
I did 99, right?
Were you said 99?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. You know what? It might be my headphones. You know what? It's been a long day. My bad. But you know what? I appreciate you. I appreciate you remembering. Most people butcher. I'll be honest. Xander forgot. So you know what? I'm gonna hold it against Xander. Like, hey Xander, I gave you the number and you forgot. Yeah, Tosh nailed it. First try. Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
sir.
So I could joke around. And I see my sister is in the chat. Yeah, where you been? You've been quiet tonight. Like usually she's blowing it up from the minute we start. I'm like, bro, it's 8:40. Like, what's going on? It is what it is, you know. Maybe she's decided, it's a chill day, Sean. It's a chill day. I respect it. I respect it. Okay. I want to go on to my next question, right? So again, to kind of even go deeper and continuing the conversation as it is, what direction do you see more musicians, producers, and dancers wanting to ensure that their generational wealth outside of their profession? So, like, kind of to just unpack that a little bit. Obviously, they are trying to build generational wealth in the work that they're doing, as an artist, music, production, case may be. But even to just ask, like, from what you are offering as a financial advisor, financial broker, how do you try to encourage them, like, hey, listen, you could also like make money from not just in the profession yourself? Because obviously, where people don't know about life insurance, like it's not just like having the policy itself. Like, yes, it's great, but there are different ways that you can use it as an investment portfolio. And some people didn't know that, including myself. When I got started, I was like, say, swear, are you serious? Are you serious? Like that shocked me. And I think for a lot of different artists, again, the biggest issue sometimes is finance and resources. Sometimes they're not able to do certain things because they don't have that much access, and there's always a scarcity behind that. So, I mean, I want to ask you, Taj, how are you also still trying to ensure people are like, yeah, listen, make your money in what you're doing, but let me show you a way also that you can save money and invest that money proportionally, so that way it's not just one avenue. Like there's multiple streams of income coming in for you.
How do I? Can you ask the question again?
Yeah. So just how would you say you are encouraging more producers, dancers, people within that space to generate or build that generational wealth outside of the profession that they're doing right now, of course. So obviously we've had conversations tonight about, insurance and like make sure that you're safe and you're secure, but also like how can you ensure that using something like this within the insurance space that you could also make an extra stream of income through it as well.
Well, my first question to anybody would be: do you always want to work for your money, or do you want to have your money also work for you? Right.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, like you said, right? Life insurance is not just a policy; it's not just a death benefit, but there's also living benefits to it. And as just a financial broker, um, we want to show people the different opportunities that they can make money, they can have investments for themselves, for their family, so again that there's something can be growing for them even while they are working their full-time job, their occupation, even if they are in the entertainment industry as artists or even as entrepreneurs, that we could you could still have something on the investment side or the life insurance. And if you are an entrepreneur in the entertainment industry, again, what is out there for you that you can protect yourself, something that you can also grow from, right? Something that you can have growing for you. So it's all about options, and I think that we don't know enough about our options.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think to even add on to, I think not just only options. I feel like sometimes, and we had a conversation about this last week. I brought up with Xander, and I think I'm going to bring it up again. It's gatekeeping. I genuinely think that there are people who are able to find those people like ourselves and learn a little bit more. They tend to hold it to themselves and say, well, you know what? Like, I'm just going to keep it and just not share with everyone. And like again, if there's one thing that if you want to get my blood boiling, it's gatekeeping. If I knew I could use this for myself or even share it with someone and I find out that you didn't want to share, it's like, yeah, you want to catch me outside. Like you want to, we have to be in the streets, and it's like, put them up, put them up. Nah, but for real, I think that's something that's so important too because I think financial literacy is more than just learning it and accumulating it, but also dispersing it and spreading it around. Like that's also financial literacy, being able to take what you learn and share with other people. So that way it builds that rapport. And again, it builds more people to understand a little bit about something that they didn't know before. That's important.
For sure, you want to give and take, right? In this life, it's not all about taking; it's about giving too. So, I like that you mentioned that gatekeeping. That's huge, and it just says something about you, right? As a person, or even in the industry, like that, you're just kind of selfish. You're looking out for you. You're making sure you're okay. Well, what about your people, and not just them, but what about, again, giving people opportunities, right? And out of those opportunities you might find new friends, new colleagues, right? And somebody else might able to then bring a skill into your team that you never knew about. So, like I say, this life is about give and take. It's not just about gatekeeping.
Yeah, and honestly, even expand a little bit on gatekeeping. I don't want to go off a tangent because sometimes I know when I get passionate, but we talk about the music and entertainment industry. If there's anything about that industry specifically, there are people that love the gatekeep. Like there are some people that just like, I'm not saying this or I'm keeping it to myself. Especially like, since we're both like lovers of like hip hop and rap, like I don't know what it is. But it's like it's more than just the music. Sometimes, like when they're in the studio spaces, like they don't be getting along at all. It's like, oh, you're working with this guy? Nah. I can't let people know I'm tapping in with this producer. I can't let people know I'm tapping with it. It's like, well, why? Like, I get it. The music and entertainment industry, it's cutthroat, and I'm not even trying to like debate or defend or go against that. But I think it's also important to understand that I'll say the same thing I said to Xander last week. I could tell you everything. about me, my blueprint, like this is how I do things. If you aren't willing to listen and actually apply what I'm saying, you can't be mad that I didn't give you the chance to do something with it. Like you can't get upset because at the end of the day, it's gonna be a matter of like, well, like I wanted to do this, Sean. I wanted to. I'm like, I told you everything. Oh no, 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 but I didn't have enough time. And it's like, what are you complaining about? Like I gave you it, and I'm not about to give you again. That at that time I'm gatekeeping. Like no, no, I told you once. You missed your boat. Now I'm holding information because you should have done something with it. So I think it's important again to anyone who's listening, who's in the music entertainment industry, an artist, dancer, producer, whatever status or title you go by. I think it's important that if you are being able to find other ways to expand your streams of income, I think it's important to like what Taj mentioned, being able to, provide that value and also share with other people. Kind of what I said, not gatekeeping about it.
Yeah, yeah, man. And honestly, like again, just speaking on the insurance side when it comes to artists or people in the entertainment industry, your favorite artist, had most likely has a life insurance policy. Lil Baby, T Grizzly, DDG, whatever, Mariah Carey, whoever you want to name, they most likely have a life insurance policy. And why do you think that is? To throw away money? Obviously not, right? There's obviously a reason that these huge names in music have life insurance policies, and some of them against like on their assets, their voice, right? Ronaldo, Messi, and then they have like a insurance policy on their leg, right? Of millions and millions of dollars, right? So like I was saying earlier about how do they lose out on what happens to their lost income. They have insurance policies for that. So there is a thing or two that we should learn when it comes to the insurance field. If you're an artist or in the entertainment industry at all, it's definitely huge.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, Tosh, for real. Because I think at the end of the day, too, we have to realize artists are also humans. Like they all have the same things that they want to do. You have certain artists that get into the art itself because sometimes they want to get out of a certain lifestyle. It's like, you know what? Like I grew up, my parents always said like, and I'm just giving like it as just an example of a story. It doesn't have to connect anyone, but like someone could say like I grew up, I had parents, I had this gift of like singing and performing to people, but I lived a very rough childhood. It was always in a state of like low income, and my parents were doing so much to provide for me. Now that I'm making it, I want to give back. So someone might get a policy, just be like, hey, listen, I'm building that investment over time. And then if I want to use a portion of that, like I'm gonna buy them the dream house. I'm gonna buy them like this. I'm gonna buy them the dream car. Like we're gonna go on vacation. We're gonna do this and that. At the end of the day, these artists, yes, they're performing for all of us for our entertainment, but they're also humans. And I think for them, they also want to be able to provide the best for themselves, for their own family. So I think at the end of the day, it's not just a matter of like, oh, you're just getting it because you're an artist. No, they're human. We're all human. That's all that we can be on this earth. So I think it's important to also share that aspect as well.
Definitely, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, man. Anyway, I want to get into this role play exercise. I did this last week with Xander. Xander was not ready for it. He was so off turn. So I'm very interested how you're gonna do it. So for people who don't remember last week's role play, we did a little bit of call, like a client call. So obviously this is like what Taj and I do as well on a daily basis. So I thought, you know what, we're gonna bring it back this time. So we're gonna pretend that Taj, this is not me. You're not talking to Sean. You're talking to someone completely different. Let's say I'm an artist, and I don't know. Let's say you got me on the call, wherever the case may be, right? And let's say I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, I don't even know what this man's gonna say to me. I don't know what he's gonna talk about, but I mean, he told me like, hey, if you're looking to buy a little your time back, if you're trying to set up a plan, then I can help you out. We're gonna play this out as if it's like an actual thing, like a little bit of role play, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool, cool. I'm very interested how this is gonna go about. All right, so oh, and by the way, since I'm not Sean, you can give me any name on the spot right now.
Andrew.
Andrew, okay. Honestly, that's not bad. That's not. Hey, listen, it's not as bad as what Xander did last week. Or was it Xander? Or was it the week before? No, it was the week before that. There was someone that gave me the wildest name. I couldn't even remember what it was, but
Mm-mm.
someone did me dirty that day. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you just calling me Andrew, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. So all right, let's get into it. So I guess I'll start off, and then we'll just kind of bounce off the energy. So Taj, just want to say, thanks for getting me on the call, I guess. I mean, I'm Andrew. I know you told me a little bit about how I could buy my time back or set up a plan, but I don't know, man. It's just, I'm a little iffy. Me being an artist and everything, I got so many things that I want to do, but it's just, I don't know. Like, maybe you could share a little bit more of like what you're doing exactly, because you didn't say much. I kind of took your intuition and like I jumped into it, but like I feel like I could trust you a bit, but I'm gonna need a little bit more information to kind of get what you're telling me?
Okay. Well, Andrew, I appreciate you for, your time coming on out today. What I do, I specialize in helping families, businesses, and a ton of artists, with their financial strategies and finding tax saving environments. But the biggest thing that I know that businesses and artists and anybody in the entertainment industry is looking for is legacy planning, right? Now, it's not just about today, but it's about what life is going to look like down the years, right? Now, what are your goals for yourself in music or in the entertainment industry?
Oh man, bro, I'm trying to win a Grammy. I'm trying to make the top of the billboards. I mean that's kind of like materialistic stuff, but I think overall, I want to be able to I want to be able to make enough money so I can buy my parents like a dream house. Really, like we lived in the trenches for a long time, and a lot of people in my community just want me to get it out the mud. They want me to really grind. It's like, nah, like you can't stay here. You gotta keep pushing. So that's what I'm trying to do. Those things, just get the accolades, but also be able to make enough money. I probably want to say around, I want to get to like a million, like a million. Like that's just me because I'm an ambitious guy. But obviously, it's a little tougher now because income's not really flowing. It's a little stagnant, but that's definitely the goal.
Okay. So you have a goal of about $1 million, right? And are you fully banking on the entertainment industry, you in music, to do that for you?
I mean, like, I got a great sound. I got a great audience. I just don't know if I'm PR friendly. Like I'm trying
Mhm,
to change. Like,
mhm.
there's people telling me like, oh, you gotta like change the image. I'm like, all right, I'll try. But I mean, I'm open to stuff. It's just sometimes, like, me, I can always question myself, and I feel like I'm trying to get out of the head when it comes to that. But I mean, I would love to find another way of like saving money or like investing money into something else. Like that's something I look at the stock market like every single day. I don't know what it's about. Sometimes I'm confused, but I would like to know a little bit more about that and just find ways to invest my money in that. So
Definitely. I really appreciate like telling me about your passions. You want to be on a billboard, the Billboard 100, and you want to also win a Grammy. That's amazing. Now, doesn't that sound like that takes a lot of money to, kind of get to those points, get to that goal, right? And then to also probably have $1 million saved up. Seems like you're probably going to need to have multiple streams of income, or your money working for you in certain places, saving and investing so that you can get to those goals, so that you have money to fund your dream, whether it's being able to make quality music that you can end up in the Billboard or get a Grammy, or if it's being able to acquire that dream house for your parents. Seems like it's going to take you doing a lot, earning a lot of money, and with already music taking a lot of money, you're probably going to need to have some investments that's also working for you. Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, I'll probably say this, like right now, like I'm kind of like low when it comes to studio funds. Like I can barely pay for like even an hour at this point. But I do try to save my money nowadays. I've been kind of saving for the last 3 months, but I think right now what I want to do is like I have like a setup in my crib, so I mean I can record music there, so that way I don't have to spend much. But I do want to take the money I have and like use it, put it to work in some way. I have about like I want to say like 2,500 save up, that's just been from the last couple of months, and I've just kind of been more restrictive. Like, let me not go to the studio, let me not burn it out immediately. Like, let me save it up and just kind of, you know, grow it, multiply it. So like that's where I'm at right now. I mean, obviously a million's a lot, but I'm you hoping like with the 2,500, it could put into something at least, kind of build that rapport from there.
Well, I love that, Andrew. Seems like you're starting to be on the right path. You have great habits that you're trying to build of not burning through your money, but possibly saving it. And even I'll be honest with you. Starting from 2,500 is not that bad. Some people they start with a lot less. Some people start with a lot more, but you can definitely start there. And the best part about it is that even 2,500, you can start growing right away in something like a TFSA account. That's we know that the TFSA accounts are probably being underutilized at the bank level, right? As what with what I do as independent financial broker, I'm able to shop the market to find you the best provider that lines up with your goals and what we're looking to do, so that we can get that TFSA really growing at a consistent rate, something that you'll actually be able to notice and be satisfied with, so that we can get you into those studios a little bit sooner, and we can get you on that Billboard 100 a lot sooner. Sound good?
I mean, that sound good. I mean, you mentioned like shopping the market. Like this ain't no scam thing, bro. Like I'm not saying I swing like that, but like I got a couple of friends like I don't know, they have like little spooky activities. So I'm curious, like what is like when you say shop the market, like what do you mean by that?
Definitely. I understand what you're saying. And there's no scamming or no scheme or anything like that with what I do. I'm a government licensed independent financial broker. And what I mean by when I say shopping the market, I mean that I'm actually partnered with a lot of, the bigger financial institutions. Some you might have heard of, some you might not have heard of, right? And basically, I'm able to go through my partners and, like I said, find the best provider that lines up with what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. Okay, so how about this, bro? I mean, I'm trying to put something in motion right now. So I mean, are you able to help me? Like, I don't know. Like, is this something that I gotta like put in some like lump sum to get started with you? Again, I don't know much about the finance, so I don't know if I gotta like pay you to get started or whatever.
Definitely. So you don't have to pay me. My services are completely free to my clients. The best part about what I do is that I'm able to provide the client with a great product that serves them and their goals. And through providing them with a product, obviously through a provider, the provider will then compensate me for providing them with a new client. Does that make
Yeah,
sense at all?
yeah, no, no. You
Awesome.
know, honestly, like the way you're explaining it, that makes sense. I ain't gonna lie, that kind of makes sense. Honestly, like I'm down to kind of get into stuff like that. I mean, you mind helping me, like letting me know like what we got to do to set it up?
For sure. So now, like I said, we can start with anything, anything small. So even the 2,500, we could definitely start there. We will sit back down. We'll go through a little bit of something called an investor profile to see where your risk tolerance is, to see which class and areas that I should invest your money in. So we know that it won't be highly volatile if that's not something that you're looking for, but we also know that we can get good returns with a little bit of risk, right? And then from there, I'm able to set up some accounts. Again, the whole way through, I'm going to educate you on what it is that we're doing, what opportunities, options that you have, so that the ball is fully in your court on what you're able to do. Whether it's segregated funds, or just having if you want to put your money in an FHSA, right, or TFSA or anything like that, I'm going to fully educate you on each and every step, so you'll be confident about what it is that you're doing, and you'll be confident about putting your money with me.
Okay, honestly, bro, I like you. You got good energy. I can't lie, man. So yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So let's set some time to sit down, probably next week, early next week,
Yeah.
and we'll do that investor profile, put some stuff together for you.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, Taj. I really think this is gonna be good for me.
No problem. I'm looking forward to helping you reach those goals.
All right. All right, perfect. Scene. Okay. Yeah, I tried to like kind of speak like a Toronto road man. Like I ain't got the best accents in the world, but I was trying to like, yo, yeah, yeah, fam. Like, just kind of like keep it low key.
I love it.
But
I love it. It was good. It was good.
nah, for real, man. So we do got to wrap up because we went over time, but it's all good. Anyway, Taj, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sharing your expertise, your knowledge. I'm glad to get you on the pod, man. You're always welcome back to come on when you can, bro. Quickly, let the people know where they can find you on social media.
All right. So, especially on Instagram, I don't use TikTok too much or whatever, but you could find me on Instagram with my first name and last name. That's Taj.Hedge, TAHJ.HEDGE. Hit me up on Instagram. Look through some of my content, and let's work. Let's get you situated.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Tosh. And thank you to everyone listening here on Love Bay Radio to the Safe Room. You can find us on Instagram at the Safe Room Official, or find me at my personal page, the President of TO. Also, you want to check out any of our previous conversations, head to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio on YouTube and go to the podcast tab. You'll see the Safe Room. All of our conversations are housed under there. Also, if you want to check there's more than on YouTube. Like if you want to go check out like the archives, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Safe Room. I gotta do some updating, guys. Like I know there's some episodes for 2024. I need to update that. So give me some time, but I appreciate you all being on here tonight, and make sure you guys tune in next week to your favorite show here on Love Bay Radio. We'll see you guys next time.
Shout out to you, Sean. Appreciate you for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Love Bay Radio. All right.